Hello, good day to you, whoever or wherever you may be. Today is Friday, July 21st, 2017. My name is Timothy. I do these bi-weekly astrological forecasts on the new and full moons approximately, and I offer astrology readings which you can purchase from me at my website shown below. Whew, boy, it is hot in Savannah today. Hopefully I don't pass out from sheer exhaustion. And it is a hot and spicy, exciting and revved up time, energetically as well. So as always, let's talk about the technical aspects, where we are in time, where we are in 3 dimensions, and then we'll talk about the why, the meaning, the purpose of these experiences that we can be going through these next couple weeks. Key planetary players these next couple weeks are Venus, Mars, Uranus, and Chiron. And of course, we have 2 new moons falling in the sign of Leo coming up this next month. Today, Mercury is on the moon's north node in Leo. And now is the time for us to be singing our song. Now is the time to be expressing our individual truth, to be connecting with others creatively, and sharing our story, channeling our heart, releasing our truth, letting the poetry move through us, being a creative channel and expressing our own individual perspective and story is at this time holding open the doorway to our own creative actualization and our future evolution. Now, a lot of excitement going on with the Sun, Mars square to Uranus, as Uranus is stationing this coming August 3rd. That's a Thursday. And so the Sun is joining Mars next week, Wednesday the 26th, and they are both square to Uranus. And this square to Uranus is restless, spontaneous, excited, and there is a lot of energy that can be so new and fresh that it just wants to be released in whatever direction. And this is a time where there can be spontaneous changes, unexpected circumstances, and potentially a frustration that I like to associate to the planet Uranus and his sign Aquarius that I call divine discontent. There's a lot of divine discontent that can be shaping our authentic release, the new identities and patterns that we are forming at this time, and, propelling ourselves forward. There's a big propelling energy, like a loaded spring dynamic that just wants to take off these days. And of course, the recommendation I'll be making is that it's an appropriate time to be slowing down, to be using our discernment, because there is a lot of exciting potential and creative actualization that's going on at this time as we are forming fundamental new patterns, new identities, and new directions that are opening up the sense of purpose and vastness. And Uranus in Aquarius is all about liberation and freedom from the restraints of the past and the distractions of our world. That being said, Venus is forming an opposition to Saturn, which will be going on next Monday, July 24th. And then she forms a square to Chiron that will be exact on Sunday, July 30th, before she moves into the sign of Cancer on July 31st. And so a lot of the excitement and the wanting to burst through and burst forward and come into new patterns and creatively self-express, which can be coming from the individual and independent area of our life, can be meeting the potential challenges of other people, of our relationships. And there is this challenge of how to take this creative actualization and these new developments that want to be manifested into reality, how to express these things with other people, how to reach other people if we feel misunderstood or abandoned, and how to use this creative energy in a way which is actually practical and useful simultaneously. So let's talk about this new moon at 0 degrees of Leo. 0 degrees of any sign is an initiating sign. And here is the excitement of 0 degrees of Leo. 0 degrees of Leo is like the birth of a child. And we have the opportunity to sow seed intentions with this new moon that is allowing us to connect with our inner child, which is our heart, which is our solar center, our creative center. And with Leo and the inner child, I love to think of the symbol of the Sun card from the tarot, which shows this naked child on top of a white horse, and they're riding through these clear and open fields. And wherever that child wants to take that horse, they can ride. And there's that sense of being able to explore the horizon and go where you want to go, and spontaneity. And that is the energy of 0 degrees of Leo. It is exciting, it is youthful, it is creative. And it's thoroughly spontaneous, especially with this new moon being square to Uranus and joint with Mars. This is powerful masculine energy that wants to assert itself, that wants to express itself outwardly. And Leo is the sign of outward expression. Leo is the culmination of the individuating signs. Leo is the sign where we have filled ourselves to the brim with creative actualization, and there's this desire to release that creativity, to release our creative and sexual energy, the same way the sun releases its solar rays, impregnating the solar system with life. Well, there is no shortage of life. There is no shortage of sexual creative energy. There is no shortage of testosterone at this time, as it comes in abundance. And there is this excitement to get going, excitement to release, and we can be so filled to the brim that our releasing and our celebrating can potentially be overpowering. Yes. This is the shadow of Leo, when there is so much excitement to prove our capability of what we have gathered and the creativity that we are. Well, there can be this sort of burning out the people that are around us, and it's like, okay, turn it down. It's a little bit too much, a little bit too excited. And so Leo is the sign of culminated individualization that may or may not have learned proper social integration. And if anything, this Venus being opposite to Saturn, square to Chiron, is saying, well, we need to make sure that it's properly integrated with our relationships, with other people. And that can be some of the creative friction at this time that is inviting us to harness this exciting, passionate, solar heart energy, and yet to use it practically simultaneously. And these next 2 new moons, this next solar eclipse, it's very much about healing of the inner child. There's so much that's stacked against the inner child in this day and age. You've got to grow up. You've got to have a 9-to-5 job. There's expectations and obligations. And that shuts down our creative spontaneity. This new moon is about us reactualizing that spontaneity of the inner child. And I use the analogy of when a child wants an ice cream cone. When a child wants an ice cream cone, they do not hesitate asking the parental guardian for said ice cream. Hey, Ma, can I have some ice cream? Would really love some ice cream right now. Hey, there's the ice cream truck. Can I get some ice cream? Is what all children typically ask. Even if their parents are going to say no, the child's going to ask for the ice cream cone because they want it. They hear it coming by, and they're excited about that potential. Excuse me. That excitement is our gift right now. That is what we are funneling in right now. And the challenge is containing it. Containing the excitement in a container that can use this inner flame of passion productively and creatively, which is a type of learning to harness the flame. Because the easy tendency, when there's so much excitement, when things are as hot and I'm as sweaty and frustrated as I feel right now and everything's muggy, get it out, just get it out, just get it out. And some of this spontaneity can be just like, this is how I feel, or this is what I need. The square to Uranus can be this spontaneity that's just like, you know what, forget it, I'm taking out of here. And we can find ourselves running away to Las Vegas and halfway across the country before we realize, oh, is this really what I want? Is this really going to work out? Do I have the money to afford my trip here? Is this even something that makes sense at all? And so there is this checks and balances that we're doing the next couple weeks. Yeah, squares are like check aspects. Oppositions are like balancing aspects. Well, this opposition between Venus and Saturn is about maturing our relationships. It's about maturing how we are working with other people in a way that is both structured and grants emotional fulfillment simultaneously. And it is a time of being checked by the other person. You know, authorities, the partner, other people can be checking us, you know. Is this balanced? Is that equal? Are you really doing what you said you were going to do? Are you really following your heart's desires? Is this really working out between us? Is your own independent and individual journey, is it balanced and is it mutually working in this relationship dynamic? And so, conflicts can come up in relationship and partnership at this time, which is a vehicle of evolution and healing that really invites us, you know, how well are we taking care of ourselves, our individual desires, versus the responsibilities of the other. Asteroid Ceres is also in an opposition to asteroid Juno, that also brings up that simultaneous self-nurturing versus responsibilities and commitment to the other. Now, even if there isn't a significant other, Venus transits still affect us, of course. We have a relationship to ourself. And Venus opposite to Saturn square to Chiron can also feel abandoned or lonely. And in that case, that's the relationship dynamic that you're working with. How is that relationship dynamic going? What is being desired to change? What can be restructured in such a way that you can share and reach other people and express what it is that you want to from your heart and what you are interested and curious in sharing? And so, new moon at 0 degrees of Leo is this excitement of the inner child. We are birthing new patterns. We are having the opportunity more than ever to reconnect with our heart, to reconnect with our soul's innocence. This is the big, deep work that's going on the next 6-7 months. And there's a real opportunity in this. And simultaneously, 0 degrees of any sign is just initiating. And so 0 degrees Leo can be naivety. And you may know the stereotype of Leo as someone who loves to get attention, someone who loves to put themselves on center stage, and may not realize that they're making a fool out of themselves because they're so excited to share. This 0 degrees Leo is, you know, we do have to be aware of how we're actually expressing, how we're actually reaching other people. It's a really exciting time for reconnecting with our source, with our heart, and feeling excited about life, and having new opportunities to change directions. But yes, we do have to slow down. We do have to tap into our hearts. We do have to make sure that we are reaching other people. And all the opportunity to pioneer, to reinvent, and to catalyze change is there. And so Uranus is a big player these next couple weeks as he turns retrograde the first Thursday of August, August 3rd. And so you do want to check your charts, particularly those of you who have planets at the final degrees of the cardinal signs. Thoroughly restless, revolutionary energy is reinventing those planetary energies at this time. If you have planets at the final degrees of Virgo or Scorpio, they're certainly receiving that restless, Uranian, upsetting, transformative, revolutionary energy. And if you have planets at the final degrees of the fire signs, you're experiencing that same revolutionary energy, but in a more smooth flowing way. Uranus is retrograde about 40% of the time, and for the next 155 days he will move retrograde until the first week of January 2018. When Uranus is retrograde, he is even more revolutionary. Uranus is the planet of liberation. Liberation from the past. Liberation from the known. Liberation from all and any imprisonment. That which gets in the way of our fullest release of our authentic individual expression. And so Uranus is definitely working with this Leonian energy in a frictionless, revolutionary way, inviting us to come into this new solar child, to release our soul's innocence, our creativity, in the most spontaneous and unabashed way. So to liberate ourselves from the old identities, the old restrictive patterns, duties and obligations to others, so that way we can be authentically who we are in our self-expression. The challenge, therefore, is coming from the outside world and from other people, and it is about doing checks and balances, reflections back and forth, to make sure that we are doing this revolutionizing, liberating, and releasing in such a way that is truthful, that is authentic, and other people can keep us in check that way. Other people can tell us, turn down the volume, it's a little too much, Too much Leo, too much Sun, and it starts to get like, wow, we need some shade. And so other people helping us to figure out how to actually structure these newfound expressions and opportunities into our life. Woo! And so I apologize if this was a little loud or I'm feeling a little lightheaded right now. And I think that I covered the major points that I wanted to today. Let's see, we also have Jupiter coming into a square with Pluto, these weeks. That will be exact August 4th. That's a Friday. And this is more passion for us to get on board with our perspective, with our wisdom, with our vision. And there is an awful lot of ambition. Nobody's falling asleep these weeks. If anything, we're having a hard time falling asleep. And it's always important to slow down, to double check, to do discernment, and to make sure that we're staying in our bodies. Take care of yourself. Remember to eat food. Remember to nurture yourself and pamper yourself, even when we're doing so much and juggling so much. And that is another way of coming into our hearts and reminding ourselves of who we truly are, what we truly love and value, and therefore what our greatest gifts are to share with others and the rest of the world. Leo is about recognizing ourselves as special. It's about recognizing what makes us different from others and the rest of the world, which is hand in hand with our gifts from God. What makes us truly divine is that we are all children of God. We are all totally unique. And in that uniqueness, in those differences, is our greatest gifts to offer back to the world, to share in our creative expressing, and inspire and touch other people's hearts. And so this is an exciting and really wonderful time. We are coming into this eclipse season that's going to open throughout August. And we'll be talking about these powerful eclipses happening in August that is very much about the healing of our inner child, the healing of our soul's innocence. That way we can actualize our greatest soul's potential, which is always some form of celebratory creative release that is simultaneously in the service of offering ourselves back to the collective and the whole. And some last-minute quick announcements. There is another moon workshop happening at the end of this month. This will be July 29th. You can sign up at the link below. This is the part 2 of the moon workshop, where we are learning how to track the moon throughout time and use that to understand the themes and dynamics in your own birth chart, as well as discovering hot spots particular points in the zodiac where wherever the moon or another planet transits will trigger particular dynamics and themes in your birth chart, in your life. I'm also extraordinarily excited during this Leo time to be connecting with my teacher, Kai Pacha. We're going to be doing a workshop at the beginning of September, Labor Day weekend, in Asheville, North Carolina, exploring your shadow in the natal chart. We're going to be talking about Pluto, Saturn, Chiron, Lucifer, Black Moon, Lilith, and understanding the unconsciousness, the majority of the iceberg beneath the water, the majority of our soul's power, potential, and story beneath the water. How to tune into that, how to work with that, and how to heal our soul's power is all going to be a part of this workshop that I'm super excited to be sharing and presenting. And of course, during this Leo time, I'll have my harmonium and be belting out some kirtan devotional singing as well. So I really hope to see you there. Looking forward to connecting to those of you who will be on the July 29th Moon Workshop. And for all of you, whoever and wherever you may be, again, I wish you absolutely all the best as you come into your heart and soul's potential.